Hello, everybody. Welcome to our regular Thinking Thursday. And today we have a wonderful speaker, Sunil Acharya. He's worked in organizations like L&T, Lupin, Hoover, Bayer, leading plant and corporate HR functions. He has more than 3 decades experience in managing all HR, IR, OD, safety, admin, and CSR functions. He's now engaged in training, mentoring, consultancy related activities for industries and colleges for the last 7 years. He's senior HR consultant and visiting faculty at various colleges. He's a certified trainer for many soft skills, safety skill programs, behavioral, managerial. He's imparted training in several organizations at different levels. He has been empaneled trainer with KCG, Government of Gujarat. He has developed hundreds of participants through his life and employability skill development programs, transactional analysis, and behavior-based safety programs in the areas of self-development, leadership, interpersonal relations, and communication, BBS, etc. He is founder of the Gujarat Transactional Analysis Center, ICTA. Recently, he received BBS Ambassador Award. He implemented BBS for more than a decade. He has studied HRD and safety systems in the USA, Germany, advanced HRM at IIM, Ahmedabad, and implemented world-class programs like SGA, PIP, AAR, Vision, Stop, BPS, all these words and acronyms I really don't know much about. And I think Sunil is going to enlighten us about this work that he does. He has received the Greenbelt Award for CSR activities from the then Gujarat CM, Shri Narendra Modi. I'm really excited about listening to this behavior safety programs because ये मैंने कभी सुना नहीं है इसके बारे में और मुझे लगता है कि it's a great idea to get another perspective about safety from a organizational trainer. So Sunil, over to you.
Okay, thank you. So at the onset, I would like to thank Dr. Trupti Jain for giving me this opportunity to talk to you about behavior-based safety. And also congratulations to her for conducting this, or organizing this wonderful initiative called Thinking Thursday. I was excited when I came to know, and I have been attending quite frequently whenever, I can, or otherwise I, refer to your online, availability of the recordings. So thanks a lot, Dr. Trupti, for giving me this opportunity. The way you are excited, so I am. And I would like to, first of all, tell that this particular, word is an organizational word. So though it has organizational connotation, you can definitely relate it to our personal and social life. So, I hope that you have not thought about this word from the perspective like, the safety of a woman because of the behavior and all those things. Yeah. Because as Dr. Trupti said, this is an organizational initiative. This is applicable in the organization. It is widely well-known topic in the organizational setup. And those who are having some connection with organization, they will definitely enjoy it. Those who do not have will definitely find the relationship of this topic in their personal social life, or in the respective areas where they are functional. So once again, thanks. And when we talk about the organizations, in the organizations, we have uh, different kinds of management of safety from different perspective. So what are those things? They are technical, they are managerial, and they are legal. So we are not here going to talk about legal or technical things. Am I audible?
Yeah, now.
Was
Yeah.
I audible so far?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
no problem.
Okay. Yeah. So, there are different ways safety management takes place in the organizations, and technical, legal, and managerial or behavioral. So here I am focusing more on the managerial aspect or the behavioral aspect. And when we talk about the culture, basically how this organizational behavior based safety has come up. So when I talk to you about the BBS, behavior based safety, there are three words in that one word, and that is behavior based and safety. So what is behavior? Uh, we will not take more time in the interaction because of the some time constraint I have from my side. So first I'll make a presentation, and then we will be open for the question answers, and I'll be also sharing my number, so if anybody is interested further can connect for more details also. So behavior, when we talk about in the our life, we are referring to five things. Yeah, we talk about the person who uses what kind of words, the words used by the person. By the way, let me also share my presentation, and I hope I can share that. If you can help me, Shakuntala ji.
Yes,
Yes,
you can
I
share your co-host.
have made you the co-host, Sunil ji.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you see now? No.
We can see your window screen. Desktop.
Windows. Okay,
We
okay.
need to see your, this one. Fine.
Yeah.
Correct.
Perfect.
Correct.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in the organization, as I was mentioning, there are different ways of managing the safety, and that is the legal, technical, and managerial. Here we are today talking about the behavioral or managerial aspect. And uh, if you see, there are different types of organizations. I have come across the organization. Currently, I am doing a project in a multinational company where they don't have as such, if you see by the normal standard, any issue which is related to the safety. There are hardly any accident incident. But even the smallest of the kind of incidents which happen, they are absolutely concerned. They say we want to ensure that we don't have any unsafe incident in our factory, and whatever best possible we want to do. So there are such kind of companies, and then there are kind of companies where it is taken lightly, and they would say it's okay, कुछ खास नहीं हुआ है, थोड़ी उंगली कट गई है, like that, that's the kind of thing some people may take. But if you talk about the good industries, what they target is they target zero. What is target zero? That means they want zero accident incident in their organization. Now, when we say zero accident incident in their organization, you can also extrapolate this concept in our personal life, in our at our home or in our society. We none of us want any accident incident to happen, but still they happen, and that's where the we are going to learn what is the reason behind it, what exactly happens. Yeah, so there are different kind of culture, and if you see the culture which is there, uh, you know if you go to say airport and you see how people are behaving, it will be different than the way they are behaving in their normal life, at the outside location. Or for that matter, if their cities have culture. We say Surat is different than Baroda, and Baroda is different than Ahmedabad, and Ahmedabad is different than Mumbai, and so with Pune, like that. The cities like Silvassa and Vapi, just 10 kilometers different, difference distance, and they have a different culture. So, what this culture is about, and how does it affect the organization in the context of safety? So, as I said, there are companies which give a lot of importance to safety, and they want that zero accident should be there. their target is zero. But as I have been interacting with different companies, and it has been found that if you talk to the employees over there, if you talk to the management there, if you talk to the say the auditors there, they will say that yeah, safety is good in our company. So for a third person like outsider, he may feel it's excellent. But if you ask the employee, they will say, okay, it's good. If you ask them to rate on the 10-point scale, they may rate around 7. That's my wide experience and feedback from many places. Now, why such a good company employees also feel it is 7 out of 10? And that's because of the culture. So we'll come to that. How does the culture affect the safety in the organization? Yeah. And how are we going to get benefit? What kind of benefit we are going to get by implementing behavior-based safety in our organization? We can reduce unsafe act, unsafe behavior in a measurable way. We can reduce the accident incident at our plants. We can achieve higher involvement of the employees, and we can upgrade the safety culture. This I am referring to some plant. Yeah. So, and travel from reactive to interdependent culture and achieve the zero accident. So how are we going to do that? As I said, we have 3 words in BBS, that is behavior based safety. Now, when we look at the behavior, what happens is that we just have a superficial information about the person. How is he behaving in the organization? And when we say about the culture, how commonly people are behaving in the organization. If that is not good, for example, a good organization, the manager will take his helmet and go to the plant. He doesn't have to be reminded generally. So is for the any employee. Now, what happens? We look at the behavior of the person. He is behaving in a safe or unsafe manner, which is apparently superficially seen by us. But what we don't see is what is below that, his behavior. Why he is behaving like that? So there are around 27 factors, which are human factors, which affect the behavior of a person from the safety perspective. We are getting an overview here as to how the safe behavior of a person affect the safety. So in the process, we also talk about the TA, which is helping us to understand the concept of behavior. Right. So here is BBS. Let's see what happens when we see any accident happening in the organization. We are not knowing that there have been 29 minor injuries which have happened before this one major accident. And we are not knowing that there are 300 near miss. What is near miss? Near miss means, sometimes we see in the kitchen, "Arey, bach gaya." So that bach gaya kind of feeling which comes in the organization, that is called near miss. And below that, there are 3,000 unsafe behaviors. Yes, so let me tell you what is unsafe behavior and unsafe condition. When you are going anywhere, whether in the plant or in your house, if there is a water spillage, now what we say that there is a water spillage and we are referring to the unsafe condition. But there is someone who has spilled that water or that chemical and he has not cleaned it, because of which there is a unsafe condition. So behind every unsafe condition, there is an unsafe behavior of a person. So here, what we try to do is, we try to reduce the unsafe behavior of the people in the organization so that unsafe incident or serious accidents do not happen in the organization. Are you with me so far?
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I said in the beginning, we want to change the culture in the organization, and culture means unsafe behavior to be reduced so that everyone in the organization behaves in a safe manner. Let me give you some examples of unsafe conditions. Yeah, you might have seen such things if you have been to the plant, and if you have not been to the plant, then also you must have seen in the society similar kind of unsafe conditions created by the people. So these are the kind of things which are unsafe condition, and there are different kind of unsafe act of the people. What are the act? They will operate without authority. They will not be, whatever weight is to be lifted, they will lift more than that. They will not use the personal protective equipment, and they will not make a right kind of connection. You might see electrical connections being open, actually it should not be. So these are all unsafe acts which people do in the organization. You can see here, and this might be happening at the home, the proper ladder not being used, and then trying to take some kind of the gadgets or utensils from the cupboard or like that without using the proper ladder or proper stool. So these are the things which are commonly happening in the organization. You can see here how unsafely everybody is working here. Yeah. So you can see here unsafe condition, how things are kept open. Yeah, so all these things which are like unguarded, which are not properly closed, which are open, which can be hazardous, they are all unsafe condition. And the people who are doing that, they are engaged in the unsafe act. So what do we do with BBS? How do we implement BBS? So we implement BBS with the help of, this is the modus operandi. All these points I'll just take you through so that you understand it. So first of all, BBS is a whistleblower. Yeah. So if you see anywhere, anybody doing in an unsafe manner, then you should stop him and tell him to change that unsafe condition, unsafe behavior, and make it safe. So it's a whistleblower. In BBS, what we do is we walk through our plant, stop at a place for a couple of minutes, and we observe if there is any unsafe behavior of a person. And what we do is we tell him that this is unsafe and he needs to change it. And there and then we ensure that that particular person is correcting that unsafe behavior. When you start in the beginning, what happens is people, since they don't know, they may have different kind of reactions. So what are the possible reactions? Sometimes people will accept it and they will start working positively in implementation of BBS. Sometimes they may not, because they suspect that what for management is doing this. And that's where how we implement BBS comes in picture. What we need to do is we need to be very positive. So when you go on a round and you start making observation, all that you have to do is you have to talk to the person absolutely positively. Yeah. And when you fill up that card, because there will be one card which we have to fill up so that there is a record. It's a measurable way of implementing better safety culture in the organization. So there has to be proper documentation and in a measurable manner. Now, what will happen is that, first of all, we will not write the name of the person. What we are doing is, we are writing only unsafe behavior of the person. And we talk to him. We give him feedback that this is something which is unsafe. Suppose you go and see that somebody is working in the unsafe manner in your society, you how will you approach that? Because we all are hesitant to tell others, because how will they receive it, whether they will implement or not, and we let it go. In BBS, we don't do that. We ensure that we observe and we correct that unsafe behavior. So BBS is as per BBS safety, any accident incident, there is a root cause of unsafe behavior of a person. 96% of the accident incident which happen, they happen because of the unsafe behavior of the people. 86% are obvious and 10% are apparently appearing like an unsafe condition, which are beyond your control, but they are also unsafe behavior of somebody who has not taken due safe measures. How I am saying this? This is based on the study which I showed you just now, 30,000, 3,300, and like that, how the unsafe behavior lead to unsafe condition lead to unsafe near miss, and how near miss lead to the main major accident. So BBS is a continuous social education, which is beyond the circles of your influence. That means whether you are in organization, you are in any kind of work, once you know about BBS and you implement, it has an influence wherever you are. So you may see that when you are driving your car, you will not be talking on mobile, you will be not over speeding, you will not be overtaking the people, with the high speed like that. Why that? Because the change comes in your behavior when you are implementing BBS. There are three major critical aspects of BBS system. Structure, that is in the organization, you have to form a structure where different departments are involved and the senior people are involved in the implementation. The top person has to take the responsibility, has to take interest, and has to drive the BBS implementation. The heart of this system is observers. Observers are supposed to make good observations, and then they are supposed to give a right kind of feedback. As a big brother, the approach is a big brother, not like a boss. Okay. So when the person is talking to the that employee, he has to talk like an elder brother. In the language of transactional analysis, it's a nurturing parent and not a controlling parent. So the person has to have that approach, and then only the change will come. What will be the change which will come? The change will come in the culture of the organization. There are four types of cultures. There are culture which are reactive. That means if any accident incident happen, then there the organization will react to it. They will take some measures for time being, or will see how it can be managed. Then there will be some companies which will be dependent. Dependent culture means they will be depending on their safety manager or production manager or some few people. Independent culture means all the department, they are taking care of their departments. But even if they observe something wrong in the other department, they will not talk about the unsafe behavior of other people, because they don't know how to approach this particular problem. But our target through BBS is an interdependent safety culture. That means what we are trying to do is we are dependent on each other. आपकी safety मेरे हाथ में, मेरी safety आपके हाथ में. Because whenever accident happens, it is not only because of your mistake. Many a times it is somebody else's mistake. So we are all interdependent, and therefore we have to create a culture which is interdependent. So BBS takes our journey from reactive or dependent, wherever we are currently, to the interdependent safety culture. And it's a democratic way of establishing safety culture in a positive way. A lot of training is important in this. Lot of measurement is there. We measure the data, how many unsafe behaviors we have observed, how many unsafe conditions we have observed, and how many of them were immediately closed, how many of them could not be closed immediately. All this is well documented, and it is being tracked by the concerned person. Now, if we plan to implement it not only in the organization but in our other areas also, then we can really achieve Bharat Bane Surakshit. What does this mean? It means that if we just think of road safety, actually we talk about organizational safety, but majority of the accident happen in the roads, on the roads, and nobody is bothered. We just read the news. We are so insensitive probably, unless and until we come to know about someone who is known to us or close to us, he met with some accident. But with the kind of this tool, if it is implemented, then we can achieve much larger safety in our society. Also, you can implement some of the good principles used in this BBS system in our other parts also. And I would look forward to your suggestions or your feedback or your input, that where did you find that this can be useful. For example, a housewife, a homemaker, if she becomes alert in the family, that how she can ensure safety, then she will start looking at, from the same perspective which we see in the organization. It means she can see where there is a fire hazard, where there is an electrical hazard, where there is something which can fall from top, on the head of somebody, where the chair is broken, where the table is broken or can break. All those things, while driving, she can see people use mobile. She can take care of the speed if she's driving two-wheeler or four-wheeler, like that. So these principles which we are using here, when we implement it in our personal life, not only in the organization, it makes our personal life also safer. In the organization, what we do, we observe these 12 types of behavior. So all of you may not be aware about all these words, but let me tell you briefly about them. You can see here categories under the 12 behaviors. So one is PPE, that means personal protective equipment. Now, why personal protective equipments are used? Because when the person is operating or doing some job, that time he has to wear certain specific gadgets related to the job. And just to give simple example, for a two-wheeler, we use helmet, which is a PPE. Yeah. So same way in the organization, there are many PPEs which are to be used, like helmet, shoes, hand gloves, all those kind of things. Housekeeping is also very important in safety. If you know about 5S, which is also very important tool for the homemakers, housewives, and in the family, people to know that you have thing for everything and everything in its place. So if you follow that principle, a lot of problems are reduced, and that includes the safety hazard also reduces with the good housekeeping. Then using tools and equipment, how people are doing work. Is it with the right kind of tools and equipments? How they are positioned? Are they sitting, standing in a proper way? Or if somebody is, using ladder or stool, is it enough safe? Material handling, shifting of the material from one place to another place. Is it being done with the right kind of material handling equipments and in a proper way? Communication. Do people have communication system? Did they tell what exactly is to be done, or is there any communication gap? Then there are laid down procedures. Are those laid down procedures being followed by the people? Are they focused on the task? Are they using mobile at the work? I will share with you one example that one of the safety manager, she said that after this BBS, now I am myself very alert, because when I used to go from office to canteen for a lunch, many a times I used to text the something on the mobile. And after this, she said, I have stopped that because I have understood that it's an unsafe behavior on my part. So likewise, you can see other also aspects like road safety. So these are the behavior which we observe, and then we tell the person in a very positive manner, as a big brother, as an elder brother, as a nurturing parent, that this is the hazard and you need to correct it. But before telling that to the person, what we do is we tell him what good he is doing. So we start with the positive stroke, yeah, and then we tell him what is the unsafe behavior. And if he understands it itself, but if he has not understood, then we educate him, we train him, and we also involve him in the process so that he also tells his colleague behavior. And then we track it. Here you can see that we see 15% of the behaviors at risk. Suppose you have made 100 observation. Now, what is 100 observation? So far, when you have a reactive culture or you have a dependent culture, only safety officer or maybe production manager used to make observation that where there is an unsafe condition, where there is unsafe behavior. But now here, what we are doing is we are training all the people and we are training them to make good observations. So all of them become a good observer and they start looking for unsafe behavior, unsafe condition in their plant. And as a result, suppose there are 100 employees, till now only one safety officer was making observation, maybe 2-3 in a day. But now 100 people are making observation. If that sounds too much, even if 50 people are making observations, yeah, just imagine in a week there are 300 observations. And in a month, there are more than 1,000 observations. What happens? They tell each other about their unsafe behavior and get corrected. So the kind of multiplying effect the whole process has is such that, and see, and everything is done in a very positive way. BBS, that is a big brother safety, elder brother type, who is a taking care of the brother. I care for you. That's why I am telling you. That's the approach. And in the process, they become very open, friendly, free, understand each other about safety, and then they accept that, okay, this is something which I need to correct. One more thing which happens is sometimes some people may not understand on the first time, yeah, and we know that all of you are qualified people, you know that. What happens? They may take 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, but it is seen by behavioral scientists that not more than 5 times, yeah. So what happens when I am making observation? Suppose the person has not changed, but then somebody else from my company, he also makes similar observation. He tells him third time, fourth time, maximum 5 times. the person start thinking. And of course, a lot of training is given, positive training is given. So, already he is positive, having a positive mindset. So he accept that. But sometimes, even if he doesn't accept, we don't have to lose our temperament. We have to be very positive in the whole process. So these are the 11 P's. Yeah. What are they? Parikrama, Prashna. So you take a round, you ask question to the person, you appreciate his good, safe behavior, then ask him for the change which is required by him in terms of from unsafe to safe behavior. Educate him if he doesn't know about it. Involve him by his pratigya and ask him to train others also. And then you have good puraskar, means appreciation system, or so that people are motivated to implement it. And have patience, because overnight this cultural change will not happen. It will take some time. However, be prepared to have patience, and in due course of time, it will definitely bring in a good cultural change. I have personally implemented it for more than 10 years, so I can very confidently say that it helps the organization to bring in that positive culture. So how I am saying this is because of the experience which I have as a certified trainer from NITI. Then I conducted many programs as in the introduction you heard about it. This is the BBS award which I received from the last year, and now I know that I might have been little fast, but I would like to listen to your questions and then take it forward. Questions, if any. Was it clear?
Yes,
How
sir,
many
thank
of
you.
how many of you could connect it? Because I don't know how many are from organization or from some other fields.
Not even, if you say, not even in the organization, even at home, when you were teaching, so I could correlate. Like
Okay.
किचन में पानी गिर जाता है, ठीक है,
हाँ,
तो वहां पे पैर बहुत जल्दी स्लिप होता है.
true.
सो इट इज गुड कि पहले जाके आप वाइप कर दो उसको.
Correct.
एंड जो आपने बोला मोबाइल में टेक्स्ट करते करते, दैट इज सो ट्रू. दैट इज सो ट्रू.
True.
हम लोग स्टेयर्स उतर रहे हैं, स्टेयर्स चढ़ रहे हैं, हाथ में मोबाइल में हम कुछ न कुछ देखते हुए चलते हैं many a times. So that can definitely वो
Yeah.
एक्सीडेंट कर देता है.
सही बात है.
चलो, so
बहुत सही बात है आपकी, because
हाँ.
yes, that's what happens, and we ignore that. People drive while talking on the mobile.
ड्राइविंग, इफ ये
I
इसकी
have
तो चलो फैसिलिटी है. अभी कार ड्राइविंग में दिस नो
car
प्रॉब्लम.
driving.
तो
हाँ, वो तो ठीक है.
उसमें
I have seen the
स्पीकर है. बट आई हैव सीन मैनी पीपल जो टू व्हीलर पे भी फोन पे बात करते हैं.
exactly.
वो तो बहुत ही रिस्की है.
Yeah.
That's
Also, the youngsters earphone laga ke walking on the road. Youngsters, college students, earphone
Yeah.
laga ke. So they
Yeah.
don't get to hear the horns or any vehicle noise around.
true.
Yeah.
So that is also very risky. So it
So
was
how?
very nice, sir. I really loved it. So my husband is into the risk engineering, field of
Okay.
that thing. So quite very much familiar to the the physical aspect of the risk that we come across. But yes, behavior wise, this was the first time I got to hear from you, and it was so wonderful, insightful. Like, it never appeared to me like otherwise how behavior can really impact the hazards in the company or a plant or any organization. So one aspect which came to me instantly was the has a lot of scope, especially for the young, very the kindergarten
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
It has a scope where we can implement it like full on, I think.
Absolutely.
Also, Yeah.
And that, that will bring in the cultural change in the society, because at the school level, if that is
Yeah.
done, then they will have that
Yes.
mindset. Today, it is very
Yes.
difficult
And
for us
also,
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
children pick it up very quickly,
very
and they can,
fast.
like, correct their
Yeah.
parents and elders at home.
And
Yeah.
I think, as you rightly pointed out, children, for example, environment awareness in the children
Yes.
is
Yes. Yes.
much more now
Much
as
more.
compared to what it used to, because of the, it has
Correct.
been taught in the schools. So same way, if this is taught, then that will,
Yes.
because otherwise we see a lot many accidents happening in our known people also, youth on the two-wheelers, meeting with
Yeah.
accident. So when we tell them, they don't understand. They will be following their speed or like that. But if they are learning this
Mhm.
from
It has
the
to be
child, yeah,
inculcated from the beginning, and it keeps
beginning,
on till they become adolescent. Because once
yeah,
they reach a stage of, I think ma'am knows it much better. They reach the stage of a teenager, they start losing all these ethics and all. So that is where we
Yeah.
want to, stick
I
to it.
have a question, sir.
yeah,
Uh, this behavioral issues, this is the problem, as we know, as we all know that, right? So जो major problem, जैसे जो मेरे पास cases आते हैं उसमें जैसे एडिक्शन हो गया, मोबाइल एडिक्शन हो गया,
okay,
बट क्या आप हमें कुछ ऐसा टेक्निक या ऐसा कोई टूल दे सकते हैं? वी नो दैट दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट, बट इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू एक्सप्लेन और टू टेल other ones कि हाँ हम brotherly बोल रहे हैं या we are caring for you, that's why. But how is there any tool or technique the other person will accept that easily, because it's a environmental also, right? अगर माँ बाप
yeah,
ने हाथ में फोन पकड़ा है तो they cannot tell to their बच्चास कि don't take don't spend too much time on cell phones, right?
mm-hmm.
So we need to work on all the the members of the family members.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah,
ऐसा कुछ ऐसी कोई और ऐसा टेक्निक या टूल मिल जाए जिससे कि थोड़ा सा एक्सेप्टेंस पे अगर हम काम कर सकें ज्यादा, कि फर्स्ट वी नीड टू एक्सेप्ट एड्रेस द प्रॉब्लम.
yeah,
So the addressing the problem is the major issues, I guess, because nobody is wanted to accept this. बच्चे कहते हैं कि नहीं, जब हमें पढ़ाई ही सेलफोन में होती है तो सेलफोन छोड़ने कैसे बोल देते हो, जब पढ़ाना होता है तो सेलफोन को पकड़ो बोलते हो आप लोग, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस होती हैं तो.
सही है,
So,
सही है.
अगर आप इसमें कुछ हेल्प करें तो.
हाँ, इसमें मैं मतलब I will put this question in two parts. One, where how, in what capacity I'm talking is when there is a culture, right? तो ये आप जो बोल रहे हैं थोड़ा इंडिविजुअल की बात कर रहे हैं. एक कल्चर ऐसा है कि जो आइदर सेफ्टी वाइज पॉजिटिव है या नेगेटिव है.
नेगेटिव.
हम उसको चेंज करते हैं. अच्छा, जिसको हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में पॉजिटिव बोलते हैं वो भी बेस्ट नहीं होता है. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, अगर आप 10 पॉइंट स्केल पे उसका फीडबैक लोगे तो पीपल विल से 7, बिकॉज दे नो कि इतने सारे अनसेफ ऑब्जर्व बिहेवियर्स हो रहे हैं. आई एम श्योर हमारे बच्चे हमसे इतनी बात नहीं करते हैं, बट अमॉन्ग देम दे टॉक. तो ऐसा मतलब इफ यू आर वेरी गुड विद द फ्रेंडली योर डॉटर सन, देन फाइन, बट आई एम सेइंग इन जनरल. सो मान लो ऐसी ही अनसेफ बातें जो हो रही है, अगर कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट से हम देखें तो ही हो सकता. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट इंडिविजुअल डी एडिक्शन और दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द कल्चर. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इन द कल्चर इज दैट कि जैसे मान लो मैंने आपको बताया कि 7 is a rating in my organization, and with this positive efforts from all the sides, everybody is working on that, everybody is trying to eliminate that unsafe behavior. So what happens over the period, small unsafe behaviors are removed, and the organizational score goes from say 7 to 8.5 9 like that, because जितने भी अनसेफ बिहेवियर थे वो काफी हद तक एलिमिनेट हो गए. अब क्या बचता है कि कुछ कभी कभार आने वाले ऑपरेशंस होते हैं जिसमें अनसेफ हो सकता है. दूसरा ये होता है कि नए लोग आएंगे तो वो अपना कल्चर लेके आएंगे. तो कल्चर में क्या होता है कि आदमी देखता है, जैसे मैं आपको एयरपोर्ट का एग्जांपल दिया कि आदमी एयरपोर्ट पे जाता है तो बिहेवियर चेंज करता है कि बाकी सब कैसे कर रहे हैं, या किसी और कंट्री में गया तो वहां का कल्चर क्या है देख के बिहेव करेगा। तो उसी तरह से कोई अच्छा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जहाँ पे अच्छी तरह का सेटअप है इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेफ्टी कल्चर, तो बाहर से कोई कैसा भी आएगा वो देखता है कि हाउ पीपल आर दे बिहेविंग इन अ सेफ मैनर और अनसेफ। So if it is accepted to be unsafe, so he also will go on that side. So that we are working on the culture upgradation. अब ये फैमिली का जो कल्चर है उसमें भी हम जानते हैं कि हर एक फैमिली का अपना एक खुद का कल्चर होता है, और कहीं कहीं पर मतलब पेरेंट्स आर एबल टू टॉक टू द चिल्ड्रन लाइक अ फ्रेंड्स, एंड समवेयर इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू टॉक with the children even for the small things. So it will depend on the kind of relationship. That's where I am also introducing in my BBS programs the concept of transactional analysis, which helps the people to understand the human behavior. तो कम से कम उन्हें उतना तो पता चले कि why their children are behaving like this. Whether something has gone wrong in the parenting, some drivers are not there, or am I not able to give positive strokes, or something has gone wrong in the hardware, that means script has been like that. So when the people understand this thing, so what I do is I do divide it in two parts. One, which is a simple thing like ego state, transactions, and strokes like that. And if it requires some kind of further support, then we talk about the script and drivers and like that. So this is how I do, so that if there is a need of counseling, because all don't support. So as you said, yes, the in the individual case, somebody is not supporting, somebody is not cooperating, then we take it at the counseling level, talk to him, make him understand more, and there this TA is helping me in implementation with that. So that is the tool which I use. But definitely madam is there, Trupti ji is there, she can enlighten more to us on that, about de-addiction and other aspects. Yeah.
So, Sunil, while I was listening to you, I was just thinking that before, let's say, kind of, we have this, what you just spoke about, there is a need to be psychologically safe.
Yes.
Because unless you're psychologically safe, then only possibly the behavior can change.
Yeah.
So I think what you're talking about is actually the second step.
Yeah.
And so I want to tell everybody that first we have to work with psychological safety. That means if I'm working in an organizational setup, I need to feel safe first with people. Am I right, Sunil?
Yeah, absolutely.
First, you feel safe with people where possibly your mental state or your mental status is accepted, because then whatever Sunil spoke about, the behavioral change will come faster. But if you're not feeling psychologically safe, so, Param, you asked about de-addiction. So the first thing, and what Sunil is speaking about TA, the most important thing is clarity of role. I'm sure Sunil will agree that when you join a setup, it could be an office, a factory, even at home for that matter. Like if a new member comes into your house, that person needs to have some clarity about the role that the person is playing. Like a helper comes into your house. The helper is told, right, that you're a cook, or you have to only do dusting, or you have to do only swapping. Similarly, when you join an organizational setup, you have a role. So when you have some clarity of your role and peer support, I think the interdependence factor that Sunil spoke about, the four things, the reactive, dependent, independent, and interdependent, that independent thing can work faster if there is clarity of role. Am I right, Sunil?
Yeah.
So I feel that the psychological safety is more important first, and then you talk about the behavioral safety. So maid comes to my house and she feels psychologically safe. Then I think whatever behavior we tell the maid to do, the maid will do it. कि सफाई कैसे करनी or keep things here or keep things there, because she is feeling safe. All this I'm saying because for the last 3 weeks I've been looking after my mother who's come back from the hospital with a fracture, and all my 5 helpers are rallying around where my job is to make them feel psychologically safe. And the clarity of role, so that the day and night work goes well. Because if one helper does somebody else's role, then there is going to be a problem. So now for the last 2 weeks, everything is being done so well because their behavior is exactly what I want them to do. So whether it is putting my mother on the wheelchair or giving her the walker or taking her to the washroom, I've trained them to feel safe in my home first. So their behavioral safety has automatically happened. Sunil, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
And Tripti, I'll tell you that in BBS, our focus is more on the culture. So, on one hand, individual attention, rule clarity, all those things are there. On the other hand, we create a culture. So for creating culture, this becomes a tool that everybody is talking positively, everybody is talking about safety, unsafe behavior. And how much time? Only 5 minutes. We expect everybody to give only 5 minutes for safety in a day. So a person from his routine job, role and whatever job he is doing, he takes out 5 minutes. And I'm sure all of us realize that, sometime when we take out that specific time for a specific purpose, then we realize, yes, this is the lacuna. So when the person who is working there, he takes out that 5 minutes time and sees around, then he notes that, oh, there is something which is unsafe here. So likewise, everybody takes out 5 minutes every day, give each other the feedback, and then correct there and then itself as far as possible. If it requires some kind of investment and approvals, then it may be happening later on. But otherwise, it will be done there and then, because most of the things are very easy. Only thing, because of our unsafe behavior, we are doing that.
No, but these 11 P's you have written are brilliant. Let me tell you, very brilliant. I was just looking at the 4 that is in your slide just now. Prarthana, Puraskar, Promise, and Patience. This is exactly, and what you just said is exactly how I'm working with my 5 helpers. So every morning when 1 or 2 helpers come in, I always light the diya, and then I will ring the bell, and then I will just give the aarti to all the helpers. And I'll just say, okay, let's just pray for a few seconds that the day goes well. Then this kind of the 9th step that you've written, okay, where I actually give them a reward. I tell them what a wonderful day has gone by. You've done such a wonderful work. The food is so well cooked. And I tell my other helper, you've taken mommy to the washroom so well. You've done this. So I will give them some kind of puraskar. We also now, because of Diwali, we give them chocolates. I bought for them a sari. And then the 10th one is very nice, promise. I tell them every day, please promise me that you will come on time. Because the one helper has to go and the second helper has to come. So I tell them, give me a promise that you will come on time. 5 minutes early you will come. And of course, patience, which I tell my mother, please have patience that all the 5 helpers are doing their job well. Please say something nice to them. So 11 P's that you have written. And
I think this is fantastic example how it can be extrapolated in our personal life also.
Yes. I was just going through each one of them, and I said, wow, these 11 P's actually can be used in the house with your spouse, with your helpers, with your children, in the school. Excellent.
And that will build a culture.
That will build a culture, correct. So to build a culture, we have to do something, na?
Yeah.
ये जो आपने लिखे हैं ना 11 P's, ये
Yeah.
मेरे लिए is how to build a culture.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
then once you build a culture, then of course behavioral safety can automatically be
Yes.
done. You know, it becomes
Yeah.
easier. It's wonderful, really. I loved the 11 Ps. And
Thank
I
you.
was just watching how this whole thing can be transferred to a
Yeah.
home,
Hmm.
you know, or to
Ma'am,
my
I think
students.
everywhere. I
Huh?
think everywhere. Everywhere. It has a lot of
Everywhere,
scope.
correct. Absolutely right. Har
You know,
jagah,
schools, hospitals, traffic, like traffic of the city, traffic of the railway stations पे हर जगह, even the
हर जगह पे
housing
सही
हर
communities,
जगह पे ये हो
you know,
सकता है. Yeah.
playground में बच्चे खेल, हाँ,
सही सही
exactly.
बात है.
So just
Absolutely.
like that, Swachh
what I'm
Bharat,
saying,
Swachh
हाँ,
Bharat.
तो मैं वही कह रही हूँ कि सुनील, maybe you need to prepare a talk where this
Yeah.
whole thing is,
Yeah.
you know, extrapolated to a home.
True, true.
Yes.
Very,
Yeah.
very true.
And this is
And-
so wonderful,
practical.
Ma. You mentioned this, and ये अब answer भी मिल गया कि we can use this for addiction also.
Correct.
A
Correct.
mother can use this for their children, right? So
Correct.
they can.
All the 11
this is
Ps.
amazing.
पर अब all the 11 Ps अगर हम ध्यान से देखेंगे ना,
Yes.
ये this can become like a
Yeah.
counseling model.
Yeah.
Yes, Ma.
ये जो 11 P आपने
Yeah.
लिखे हैं ना, ये काउंसलिंग मॉडल हो सकता है.
मॉडल हो सकता है. सही
बिल्कुल
बात.
बिल्कुल. And thank you so much, Ma, इस तरफ ध्यान ले जाने के लिए, because
सही
वो पूरी
बात है.
talk में sometimes, you know, that skip from our, you know, memories, short-term memory से बिल्कुल निकल गया था ये. Thank you,
It's
Ma, and thank you,
actually much
Sunil ji.
needed.
But
Much
I
needed.
have, I'm
Much
very
needed.
happy that you know about the school and now at the home also how it can be. We had a wonderful discussion right now. It's a takeaway
Yes,
for
yes.
me also.
Yeah.
So
तो
I
मैं
think everywhere, like you know, traffic में
Yeah.
road safety के लिए housing communities में playground में बच्चे खेलते हैं, जैसे हमारी fire
सही.
drill होती है, like every month or so. Why not these kind of drills?
Yeah.
And also in the times when these bombings and you know natural hazards are happening, it will be of great use. Like you never know कब काम क्या चीज काम आ जाए. तो it should be like जैसे स्वच्छ भारत अभियान चलाता है, something
Yeah.
of that sort
हाँ,
should
हाँ,
happen,
हाँ.
I think.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल नहीं ये जो जब Sunil started talking about these 11 Ps ना, I was just thinking how do I utilize this as a model of counseling.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant model of counseling, really.
Yes.
So thank you,
True.
Sunil. It was really
Thank
lovely.
you.
True.
एक अलग
Thank you.
नजरिया
Yeah.
हमको मिला.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
और ये जो इतने सुंदर तरीके से you made the slides, you know, it really makes us start thinking.
Yes,
तो
yes.
मुझे लगता है बहुत ही बढ़िया था. So thank you so much.
Organization.
Thanks a
Thank
lot
you
for
so
this
much. Thank you.
opportunity
Thank you.
and you know
Thank you.
very nice interactive session and a great learning for me also.
I think we
Thank
all
you
have to
so much,
learn
Sunil ji.
from each other.
Yeah,
There's so much
yeah.
that each one of us has, and I think इस तरह के sessions ना make us think also from another perspective. ये भी बहुत important है हमारे लिए, because हम तो organizations में काम नहीं करते, but I think family systems are also like a organizational setup.
All
Yeah.
mini organization.
मिनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है. तो हर चीज जो आपने
Absolutely.
बताई है वो एक in a system of your family can be utilized very easily.
Yeah, initially जब ये शुरू हुआ था तो I was thinking कि organizational है, you know, हम usually as a counselor हम बहुत one-on-one ही work करते हैं. तो how it transform into the, you know, the family organization and we learn that. Thank you so very much. And thank you, Ma. So, you know, आप ऐसा हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ लेके आते हो
हाँ.
कि बिल्कुल एक नया dimension open होता है.
Yes,
कभी भी ऐसा नहीं होता कि ignore कर सकें. Never it is. Like it's something more, much more, like always very exceptional. Thank you so much, Shakuntala ji.
Thank you, Sunil,
Sir.
for coming today.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody
Thanks.
for being present here, and see you all next Thursday.